Can you say hard hats, folks? Hard hats, lunch pails, steel toe boots.
Anything short of a championship this year is a failure.
Look at this boomer right here.
You've just got so much talent here.
Somebody said we need to apologize for Jalen.
Can I quote it, John? What are we apologizing for? What did we say? What did we do?
Are we live? Oh my God. Hey guys,
Fortunately, we are live.
Remember Sunday? That was awesome.
Those were the days.
Yeah.
Man, those were the good old days, man. I think, John, I think you went all in on Sunday, John.
I did.
Thank you for that.
I have to stop overreacting.
Yeah, I think that's it, man.
I'm going to make sure you don't take that tweet down because I do recall.
Zannis jinx is real.
Push the chips all in on Sunday.
It really is. You don't want me. I'm like Barkley. You don't want me,
Yeah, as soon as you pick them.
Listen.
Unbelievable. And I mean unbelievable. I say that word a lot, but this one is unbelievable. The broadcast even put up like a I'm not going to say what they put up the odds, and the Celtics were minus 9,000 like in that fourth quarter. They were minus 9,000 to win that game, which means if you bet $9,000, you'd only have won $100. I hope to God nobody took that bet. That was painful.
So, I guess, we'll start at the end. I don't know. I mean, we could start. We could go a lot of different directions here. And I know where everyone's going to go here. I think we're right out of the gate. Everyone saw the game. We don't have to recap it, but 93-71 with 9 minutes left to go. And they got a little too cool for school. There's no question about that. I also think, you started the fourth quarter with Luke Cornett and
Don't you dare.
Richard. Don't you
dare, John.
Yeah, man. He put together like the best sequence of the season in the first half, but
he did and he didn't. Go back and look at it.
Going with this, but okay, yeah, go ahead.
Look, you start the fourth. Look, I thought the Celtics were ass all night, right? Like pretty kind of cruise control-y, but Cleveland couldn't hit a friggin' shot. You're without Mitchell. You're without Strus. They had a real tough time. Celtics gave up open looks all night long, and that's kind of going back to the Cornett thing. There was a million opportunities for the other team to score there, but doesn't matter. I thought they were sleepwalking all night. Careless passes. The guards were terrible. Brown, Draymond Green's laughing somewhere right now, the way Brown came out, shooting bricks to start this game. Tatum, one of the worst second halves I can remember him having. Really got in his feelings. And like in a way that you're just like, when you think he's past it, you're like, really? And again, my overreaction is going to be.
I thought the foul was a makeup call.
And the foul was bullshit.
It was, but he got slapped around a couple of times. But all right, go ahead.
You know what? Look, I know that Tatum. I know which way. Oh God, Ben, no, we're not doing this. Yes, we get it. We get it.
All right, you know what? Just end the show.
End the show. It's over, guys.
All right, hey guys.
Don't worry, Celtics fans.
Look at the record.
Yeah. All right, so. What are we supposed to do?
Scoreboard. Forget it.
Yeah.
They are good. Let's look at their overall plus minus on the season. Look,
let's just talk
all
about
of
Sunday.
All of that happened. So, we talked about it as a trap game heading into the Denver game, which was like basically what it needed to be. That was the final hurdle game, like the last important game of the season, and they kind of glossed over this one with, what happened. Tatum and Brown were like, oh, Donovan's out. Cakewalk. They sucked all game. But that fourth quarter, I mean, look, you can suck and win. The reason they sucked and lost is, I'm going back to it. They started that quarter with those guys, and it's fine. That's how you start fourth quarters oftentimes, with that bench unit. But then, you have Al and Pritchard and Cornett, and the lead gets up to 22 with them in there. So the first 3 minutes, you're feeling good, and then it starts to go down, and then it starts to go down, and then it starts to go down, and all of a sudden it's a 10-point game 3 minutes later, and they're still in the game. and then it gets a little further and a little further.
And no timeout.
And then they
Transition
finally
defense.
come in there, and then the starters come in, and they can't do anything either. And on it goes, and on it goes, and no timeouts. It just goes and goes and goes, and the game just rolls on, and nothing happens. And literally nothing happens.
Literally though, like
it just nothing happened.
I mean, Porzingis got in the mix there. You're thinking that maybe that'll be it, but then you had to put together the stops though, and obviously you shouldn't even been in that situation to begin with, man. Like, I just hated the empty possessions, the missed 3-pointers. I mean, I'm not gonna say that they just kept chucking, but I just felt like they weren't. To use what Missoula likes to say, they weren't quality shots. They weren't good looks. They were contested. Drew Holiday made one of them. Tatum passed out to Porzingis, which was the right idea, but he was covered. I mean, I just think a lot of those shots were contested. They weren't great shots. And yeah, I mean, you time out, you regroup, you sort of just have everyone calm down a bit. That's probably what the Cavaliers didn't want to happen because they loved the way things were going. The lack of transition defense was getting the comeback going. The 3-point shots from D Wade do turn into D Wade. Obviously, TNT guys going to make that joke, and rightfully so, man. Guy dropping 19 in the fourth quarter. That was all they need. You know, it's frustrating because Sunday I'm talking about how teams, or even before that, right? Teams have to keep up with the Celtics. By the fourth quarter, they're exhausted. You know, they can't do it anymore. And Cleveland was showing signs of that. They looked like they couldn't do it, but then all they needed was that run. And obviously Wade had a lot to do with that. And this is a team that, guys, they needed a win like this, man. Like, besides that, everyone's gonna talk about the what was it? The stress, the half court heave or whatever, the game-winning shot. Yeah, that was a great moment for them because that was like their second win since the All-Star break, you know? And they're slipping in the Eastern Conference. And, you know, the Celtics, you just string together a good 4 or 5 minutes of that fourth quarter with some stops, and they're done. They would have tapped out, but you obviously gave them life.
Yeah, a stop or two.
You gave them life. Yeah, or just a one stop. And maybe Joe doesn't have to call timeout. But yeah, a timeout would have been nice in that moment for sure when the stars were coming back in.
Oh man, this was. I mean, John, you kind of know that, like, just and nothing. It's like they grabbed like a handful of sand and just watched the sand like escape from them until there was nothing left to hold. Like, what are we doing?
And so, yeah,
real quick, hold on. Let me just say it.
Go ahead. I'm trying to keep up with the chat while you're. Yeah, go for it.
It's fine. You can try to. A lot of angry fans tonight, as they should be. And guys,
I can barely
we get
read
it. We can be angry for a bit and also understand that this isn't the end of the world. But I think we need to. This is like therapy for us. So let us just talk through this unthinkable loss, and then we'll move forward. So the fourth quarter, and Josue, you mentioned this was huge for the Cavs. That's that's the macro issue I have with this, is that you've given a team in Cleveland that is probably one of your toughest competitors down the stretch and into the playoffs here. There's not a lot of them, and the Cavs are certainly one of them. Now you've given them that. Hey guys, remember we did it without Mitchell. We did it without Struss. Like, we can beat these guys. We already know what we need to do. We already know guys that can come in. Freaking Dean Wade, who I had to, pour over the YouTube highlight reel to see if this guy's the real deal or what before I jumped on. And all they need to do is show tonight's game for his YouTube highlight reel, and the guy was unstoppable. Is that going to happen? Every time he steps on the court? No. But it was on the Celtics to put a stop to that. So I got to give some of the blame pie to Joe Missoula tonight for allowing that run, allowing that to snowball, and allowing that momentum to build, and allowing Dean freaking Wade to turn into Dwayne freaking Wade in the fourth quarter there. You can't do that. You have to take control back of that game. Unacceptable final possession for the Celtics. I'm jumping to it. I don't know if you're ready to go to that, John, but I am because
go crazy.
If you're the Celtics, first of all, I got to give a quick hat tip to Porzingis, who made an unbelievable defensive stop, and then on the other end gets the and one to give the Celtics that lead. And then from there, the Celtics completely screw it up. And part of it goes to Missoula, part of it goes to Tatum, because when you're down one with however many seconds, 17 seconds or 18 seconds, whatever it was, and that's what you draw up. That's what you come up with. You walk in the ball up the court like you're up 3. like you're up one or like it's tied. You have to shoot the ball. You have to get a good shot off with enough time to then give yourself a second opportunity if it doesn't go in, which, by the way, it didn't. And Jason Tatum didn't do that. Foul or no foul. And yeah, you can say, oh, Porzingis was right there for the putback. Well, the whistle did go off. And I think even though maybe we couldn't hear it watching from home, I think some of the players probably could hear the whistle, and that's why Porzingis had the wide open putback attempt that was off or not. Point being, Tatum needs to get that shot off way sooner. There needs to be a little bit more of a purpose to that final possession. Draw something up. They went to Porzingis out of a timeout previous to that. He was your hot hand in that quarter. I would have given it right back to him and just said, we're gonna live and die by what you can do with us here. You've been the guy down the stretch here. None of that stuff happened, and because of it, it's just an unacceptable loss. I'm very interested to see what Missoula says about this one. I don't know how I think I'm like everybody. I just don't know how it could have gone to that point. You're up over 20 points or 20 points against a team without their best player. You're the best team in the league. You've been blowing teams out. You're on an unbelievable win streak where you've just been dominating. And somehow this happens. And now, again, this is something that they're going to be able to look back on. The Cavs are going to be able to look back on if a playoff series does come between the two, which it very well could be. And they've got that confidence now that maybe they wouldn't have had this. Celtics just took care of business and beat them by 12 or 15. Like everything was shaping up to have happened. All that being said, like I'm not like waving. I'm not. Panic button is not being pressed here, but it's an annoying, unacceptable loss, and it's stupid.
This is the dumbest thing that we do, and let's just end it now. Between us and the chat, let's just have a pact. We're gonna say some shit tonight. By no means does it mean that the season is lost and we need to blow it up. Just go with it, okay? It's just how it goes. And that's how it is. We said a bunch of shit after the Golden State game and anointed them and crowned them kings and blah, 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 and this and that. Yeah, it's just how it goes. When you have a team like the Celtics, you're not looking at, yay, it was good. It's been good. You know they're good. You're looking at, is there anything, even a hint of it, a flash, that could derail this team from winning a championship? That's it. That's the whole ball game. You want to talk about finding meaning? They've already done everything. They've done everything. They've shown they can play. Joe's shown he can coach. The bench has shown that it can hold up. They've shown that they can win in a lot of different ways. They've shown that they can win coming back, blowing leads. They've done all of it. They've checked every single box. From here till the end, you're just looking at anything here, throw up a flag, gives you even the teeniest bit of concern. And so, yes, I don't like seeing Tatum get mentally owned. I do not give a crap if the refs let them play a little bit of prison ball in the last 3, 4, 5 minutes there, and we're allowing a little bumping and this and that. I get it. People might get annoyed by it. And sure, maybe sometimes those, it's called a little tighter there. But it happened. It might happen in a playoff game too.
It's going to get physical.
You can't let it throw you. You can't say, well, they caused it and that's why he was off. Great. It's adversity. It's called adversity. You like watching Tatum be in his feelings so long. And look, sure, he got bumped around, and I'm sure there's sometimes I've never seen somebody complain more vehemently over obvious non-fouls or maybe even the faintest hint of contact. And I've always thought that hurts him too. But
he got away from it for a bit, but tonight was a
bad one. He really relapsed. So yeah, chalk it up as a one-off. That's fine. Done. Leave it there. They turn around, they smack Denver around. Nobody gives a crap about this game. But we're looking at tonight, and you're looking at two things.
I still give a bit of a crap about it, John. I really do think
two things
I was going to say one.
Two things freak you out a little. Tatum showing that kind of that he can be mentally thrown off his game, and then Joe just getting paralyzed. And look, maybe we'll get this post-game chat where Joe says things like, it was a lesson and I wanted them to learn and it's good and whatever it is. But there was a bunch of bad things that Joe did in there. We're going to do blame pie later and we'll figure out where it goes. But I don't love it. But anyway, go ahead, Josue.
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm a little worried. And it's not just about Joe. It's the combination of things that happen when there's a close game 3-4 minutes left to go. I mean, flip a coin. The Celtics going to win this. You know, like you get that feeling every single time, and it's because of moments like these. I mean, again, how many times do Celtics have to put a team away, you know, before it gets to that point, or before that, I don't know, 2 to 3 minute mark where you say, okay, it's a 2-possession game, they're going to be okay. Because otherwise, it's really difficult to say what direction they're going to go in. A lot of times they might go to ISO Tatum, or most of the time they do, and depending on how he's doing that night, the fate is often in his hands, right? Joe Mazzulla's not going to call a timeout. He's not going to, make that big call or make that huge play, or maybe he will. I don't know. But a lot of the times I feel like you're not confident that they're going to be able to come out and get the win. It's a coin flip. And if this happens in the playoffs, nothing's going to change that, right? Nothing about what we saw tonight changes that feeling.
Yeah, and you're right. And the going back to the Joe thing,
Just think of Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, it was an amazing moment.
31-6 run. 31
the odds of that, Derek White doing that, like a lot, like those type of wins. It's just, I don't think it's not ideal for them to be in those situations.
So on the broadcast,
you don't want to. Yeah,
I'm just reading something. Ahmed's
yeah, Joe was trying to call timeout. Someone tweeted that too. I thought.
Yeah, right.
On the broadcast, they did mention that Missoula was trying to call timeout, but again, he tried to call timeout at 4.6. Why? Why at 4.6?
Well, so
why not
that's
at
what
freaking 10.6 or 15.6?
That's what bugs me the most. Right. You're calling it. You put your players out there and let them figure it out, and you put the ball in Tatum's hands. And then he does exactly what you don't want him to do and start forcing it and backing it in and ISOing it and creating the worst thing that you can do in that situation when you're down. The worst thing that you can do is whittle down the clock so the shot that you take doesn't allow for any second chance opportunities. It's the worst freaking thing that you can do. And that's what he was doing. And that's what he did. At first, I thought, Porzingis got the rebound. But then I realized clock stopped. That ball took a big bounce off the rim. It would have never made it into his hands. That was the game. He whittled it down to the very last second, and that thing back rimmed at 0.7 seconds. Disastrous execution. So, fine, Joe didn't like it, and he saw it. But why run that? Why do that? What do you think is happening late in that game? It's going to be a Tatum ISO pull-up if you put the ball in his hands there. So play him off ball and have a creator work with it, run a high screen, get Porzingis involved in an action, do something. But you put it in Tatum's hands, you absolutely know that's where it's going, and that's where it went. And I just think it's a bad choice.
It's too little.
Yeah, you called the timeout. That shouldn't have been what you did in the first place.
Like the team's body language just says it all. Okay, he's going to dribble this down, and it's up to him. Yeah,
Yeah. So that part is annoying.
It's like almost the equivalent of like a breakaway, and you've decided to do like the come in at 2 miles an hour in hockey or something like that. Just go for it. Get up there. Get into your play. Make the move and go. Too little, too late from Joe. Joe can say all he wants to about, I wanted to call a timeout, or I didn't like this or I like that, dude. This is a loss on Joe tonight. I can't wait for the blame pie. I'm blaming it on Joe.
Oh yeah,
because you had every opportunity to get your guys in the position that they needed to be in to succeed. Also, it tells me your guys aren't prepared for those situations. Yeah, it's easy to know how to wind down the clock when you're up 10 and 12, and congratulations on doing that a lot of times this year. But in a close game, they need to know how to close the game out. They need to know what the situation calls for. They need to know how to play when you're down 1 as opposed to up 1 or tie game. Need to know all those things. Is that what we come in?
Over here.
Bunch of whiny turds. Yeah.
Thank
you. Yes. That is me. But I just, it's frustrating. I mean, is it all on Joe? No, but I mean, he gets the majority of my blame pie tonight because of the way it ended. And I think they still had an opportunity to win that game with better execution. And it just felt like to me, like they were clueless out there. And you can blame Tatum too for not knowing how to act in that situation. But it just feels like an unnecessary loss. And again, they might still end up a 1 seed by 7 games or whatever it is. And they may not even see the Cavs again in the playoffs or whatever. But these are the things that you look back on if you don't win the whole thing. You say, okay, well, what the hell was that all about? Or what was this all about? So
yeah,
I don't know.
What was it all about?
That's
more
that's
stuff coming out of the locker room or the press room in Cleveland. Joe Missoula didn't love some of the, as according to Adam Himmelsbach of the Boston Globe, Joe Missoula didn't love some of the execution down the stretch, but said there were some good situational teaching points to pull from. I don't begrudge him for that. He's right. Like I said, I actually do think at the end of the day, a loss or two like this is a good reminder for them. It's not the worst thing in the world.
No, it's not. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's just freaking annoying.
No, it's annoying to watch it because of the PTSD and the you can't pull this shit later. You know that, right? As long as you know that, we're good. Right. But it absolutely is a good thing for them because you're invincible. Everyone. I mean, with the nationally televised and it being Golden State and the way that they won and all of that stuff, the entire NBA world woke up on Monday and handed them the title.
Right.
Everybody did. You know, so it's not bad to eat some humble pie and get kicked back a couple of notches. Absolutely good. Absolutely worthwhile. Absolutely. But like losing a game in this vein is good.
Yeah.
If you went in, if you drubbed an underhanded Cleveland team and then went in and played and took your best shot and lost to Denver, you'd feel a lot worse than this loss feels. This loss was you played like shit. You screwed around. You played like shit. This is what happened. You deserved it. It's on you. It'd feel worse if you went into Denver and they were like, "Oh my God, that team's better than you." If you have like a Clippers-like game in Denver, that would feel bad.
Sure. This is just a reminder that you can't disrespect the game. You disrespect the game, you're going to come out on the wrong side of it. And that was a good reminder for them. And I'm sure that's one of the messages that they're going to say after the game is, they've said it before in previous seasons. We let our foot off the gas. We didn't take them serious enough. Started playing the clock. How many times have we seen that in the NBA? Playing the clock. Doc Rivers used to say that. I thought we started playing the clock. After they give up one that way.
That's one of his go-to lines.
That was his go-to lines, and this may have been one of those situations. They thought they didn't think Dean Wade called their bluff. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much what it was. It probably doesn't happen. It probably doesn't happen 9 out of 10 times, but it happened tonight, and you complain about it, and you get pissed about it, and then like you said, on to Denver, and obviously, that's a big game too, and you just kind of leave it there. If they can do that, great. I guess that's a good test of their mental fortitude.
Yeah. And again, it probably is, and it completely gets washed away. Late there, you just hate to see it.
Here you go, though. I mean, this is it. Two unused timeouts, and
those carry over.
Yeah, right. Now you get 12 going in the next. No, but it's like, don't be afraid to draw something up. Don't be afraid. Yeah,
I told you that.
If it's talent versus talent, get your best guys out there. Get him a quick breather. Get him in the right positions. Draw up a play. Get a couple of again. Get a shot off. If you miss, get the rebound. Great. If you don't, foul. Do it all over again. Give yourself another timeout. Get the rebound. Call a timeout. Advance the ball. I mean, this is day one stuff. I'm not telling him anything he doesn't know. So why not just do it?
The give and go with Porzingis, that's just perfect right there. Cleveland didn't see that coming. They didn't know how to defend it. It happened so quickly, and then they just went right back to not doing that and giving the ball to Tatum and letting him dribble the ball out. Cleveland made a big play on the other end, but I mean, if you're the Boston Celtics, you have to try to mix things up, and especially when it's a 1-point game. I remember in the past, it was always that, if it's a 2-point game, most likely it's going to be Paul Pierce ISO. If it goes in, you go to the overtime. If not, he tries to go for 3, up to him, depending on how he reads the defense. This one, I felt like he just took way too long to read the defense and make his move. And Paul used to do that too, but
they let the defense get beyond set up.
What's up?
He basically allowed the defense to get exactly set up and figured out what they wanted to do.
They started closing off his options little by little, right? Because everyone knew just by the Celtics' body language that Tatum was taking that shot.
Not enough time to do anything else at this point. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and if Missoula is going to say, "Oh, we didn't go fast enough," we're not on a football field here. Just go, move, yell it to him. If you're not going to call a timeout and say it in the huddle, then yell it to him from right on the sideline where you're standing. Go, dribble, drive, get across half court, do something. It's freaking. So frustrating, man. I'm just pissed because I come back to the show and they pull this shit. You know, I'm watching them.
Yeah, you missed the party, man.
Absolutely murder teams and have you guys having a great time, and then I come on
were
the show
having
and
a
I got to
good
talk
time.
about this, and now I got to do
We were
this.
having a good time. We were having a good. Want to
Yeah.
hear from Joe?
Not really.
Yeah, what did Joe say?
I like this. I like what he's saying here. Joe on the last possession of the game. Here we go, Joe.
Joe, what did you kind of see there from Jason and the decision just to hold for one shot when you guys are down by 1 point there? What's the balance there from your standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, we got to go faster there, but I thought D. White got the matchup we wanted into it, and we just got to play a little bit faster, you know. So down one in that situation, you try to get a couple more possessions, and we just got to get into it faster, go faster, and try to extend the game.
Did you think about? I mean, obviously, like
I call one
out, yeah, like earlier when they start.
I called one at 4.6, but they didn't see it. So, but yeah.
What was your view just in general of that last night?
You like this, John?
22.
I mean, we had a 17-point quarter, so I think it started when we gave up the layup with 7 seconds left at the end of the third. Closing those quarters, starting those quarters are important, so you give that up, you give them a little life. You know, we've talked about game management and end of quarters being important in that, so give them a little life going out of there. And I thought we went cold. I thought we had some really good possessions where we didn't make the shot, and then I thought we had some tough shots, and then credit to them. I thought, Wade played really well, and I thought they made plays down the stretch, you know. But a lot of good situational plays to learn from. You know, we fouled, bonus foul with 1:54 seconds left. Just execution, just good stuff for us to be able to learn from.
Josue, when I said "here we go," Joe, did you want to say what's the scenario? Because I saw you kind of smile a little bit.
I was thinking the song. Yeah, I was like, "Here we go, Joe. Here we go, Joe." Yeah.
I thought you were going there. I almost said it, but I didn't because I thought you were going to, and then I stopped. Yeah. All right.
That was shit.
That was exactly what you were expecting him to say.
Nothing good out of that, as far as I'm concerned.
It was pitched. That's how it was pitched to me. Yeah.
Well, you were lied to.
Yeah.
You were lied to, and you know what? He said everything that I pretty much assumed that he would say. But again, and a lot of people are saying it. I said earlier,
I was lied to.
Too little, too late.
I was lied to. All right, we're gonna do blame pie in just a minute, and we'll get everybody's sense of what you guys think. Don't start
pie, guys.
On it now.
Pie talk coming up.
Pie talk. We're gonna have pie talk in just a minute, and we might hear from more of the Celtics here in this collapse, stunning loss, stunning.
Season ending.
Season, and guys, they're 48-13. Shut up. We know. They're good. Yeah. They're still good. I still think they're winning it all. Everybody's fine. Chill out, everybody.
We're learning. Okay? It's a learning experience.
Yeah, we're fine. Hold on 1 second. I was gonna go. Oh, you know what? I'm not ready for it. Okay. Jimmy, keep talking. I was trying to pull something up, but I don't have it.
I thought you were going to an ad or something. The way you
me? I would never do that.
No, that's okay. I mean, listen. Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna repeat myself. I don't have much else to say about this game. I mean, we've only talked about the collapse in that fourth quarter. I mean, Josue, did you like anything about this game, Josue, prior to that collapse? Did anybody stand out to you? I mean, we talked Porzingis a little bit. John hated everybody's performance tonight, I think. Josue, I can't hear you.
I mean, it's hard to highlight it after John kind of went off the top rope on
I know.
But that stretch when he first came in the first half, I was like, "Who is this guy?" He was all over the place. He's finishing the offensive plays. He's making blocks on the other end, and they're like, "Okay, that was a good little sequence." And then it just kept going. I thought that was great.
But he was in there for that fourth quarter, start of that fourth quarter.
To a point,
right.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Yeah, Derek White, 5 blocks or 4 blocks?
Yeah, White's blocks were nice. He was pretty active.
But he couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You had one guy. You had one guy who doesn't have to worry about the collapse, and that was Sam Hauser, who ended up as a plus 14 tonight. And other than getting crossed out of his sneakers in that first quarter, in which he did respond with a 3 of his own, which I thought was nice, right on the ensuing possession.
Did he step on Al's foot? I don't think he stepped on Al's foot. I think
it didn't look like he stepped on Al's foot. It looked like he got close, but I think honestly his weight
he was on his way down.
Just shifted. I think his weight just shifted as he got crossed. I mean, it's classic. Really, it was.
TNT guy tried to save him.
Did they? I couldn't get TNT to work for me tonight. I was blacked out.
Oh, really?
HBO. You got Max?
No. What do you mean HBO?
They do streams.
You can backdoor it that way. Anyway, let me tell you guys quick.
I don't want to.
I was listening to my Celtics guys.
Jimmy is right. I was looking for my ad read. We do want to welcome in PrizePicks as the new frontline sponsor of the Garden Report and the official daily fantasy sports platform of the CLNS Media Network and the #1 DFS platform in North America. Easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It actually is really cool. Just you against the numbers instead of battling a zillion other players, pros, sharks, algorithms, bots. More or less just, go in there, player props, more, less, 2 to 6 player stat projections. That's all you have to do, and watch the winnings roll in. Obviously, football season's gone, but you got a ton of hoops actions. You got the tournament starting. NBA, we're heading into the playoffs shortly. And PrizePicks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Win 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. Pretty cool that you can do that. Conference tournaments, everything coming up here. A lot of good stuff potentially to get involved with. So all you have to do is download the app, use that code CLNS, first deposit match up to 100. Deposit 100, get 100. And you can play around with that. Once again, download the app, use the code CLNS. That's all you. It's so easy. Literally, download it. There's no Mickey Mouse stuff. There's a big box on the screen that says, "Do you have a code?" Yeah, I've got a code. CLNS. Done. Bing. Immediately. Put your deposit in. Boop. The money's on the screen.
Doubles it.
Like that. There's no goofy stuff going on here. It's really, really easy. It's really intuitive. The interface is great. It's user friendly. So again, and it's fun. It's fun to play. So again, download it today. Use that code CLNS for your first deposit. Shall we, gentlemen, play some Blame Pie?
Yeah, we shall.
Okay, here we are. Oh, I'm on it.
Ooh, I didn't realize that Zannis Jinx was going to be on it. Now I'm going to have to change things.
They get the slice.
Okay. I'll go first.
What does Luke do?
I'm going to slice up my
Luke is representative of general hatred towards Luke, but also just representative of that bench unit being in there when they shouldn't have been. You can also apply some of that to Joe.
Yeah. I'm doing 50% Missoula.
Whoa.
40% Tatum, 10% Zannis Jinx. I'm not going to give Zannis too much credit, but it can't help that he pushed all the chips in on Sunday. I know that it cannot help.
Yeah, he gets 10% at least for sure.
Yeah, so that's my. I'm taking the top 3 slices. I'm gonna leave Luke alone. I'm gonna. The refs were not great tonight, but I'm not gonna blame them. I think the Celtics need to rise above the refereeing, and again, it was more physical than anything. But that's my blame.
Yeah, a couple missed calls, but I mean, yeah, I'm with you.
All right, Josue, cut it up.
I'm doing. All right, I'll go. Yeah, I gotta go 10% Zannis Jinx for sure. I'll go.
Yeah, that's fair.
40 Missoula, 40% Missoula, just in terms of that fourth quarter. The timeout is just one thing, but just in general, just kind of letting this guy just free fall the way he did. Yeah, he's getting 40% for me. So, and then I'm gonna give. I'll give 25% to Tatum. Just for, the shot selection, just execution down the stretch. So, where am I at?
You got 25% left, I think.
25% left.
I am a homeschooled guy, but
you're at 135% right now.
I'm like, that's 25, 20, maybe.
Josue's leaving a slice. I think he doesn't have any other blame to give out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. The refs, I'm gonna give them. I'll give them. I guess because if you're talking about down the stretch, you probably give him 10% just for missing those couple of calls. The one on Porzingis where he literally got his jersey pulled. and then a missed call on Tatum, which almost got him a tech. But I mean, besides those two, this isn't really one of those ref games for sure. So shit. I mean, do I just give the rest of Luke Cornett? Maybe Al should have played more, I guess, in that fourth quarter.
Give it to Luke. Give it to Luke just to see if we can coax Bobby into joining the show.
Yeah, Luke
I hate to give it to Luke because that first in the first half was some of the best basketball I've seen from him, man. That's not a diss. It's just in general. I don't know against his former team. I know he's had big games before against the Cavs, or even as a member of the Cavaliers against the Celtics. But
we'll just leave a little piece of your pie just left for somebody to pick at. How about that?
Yeah,
this pie sounds gross.
John, you're up.
Give it to the rest of the team, damn it.
I'm going 7. I need Jimmy to get in the 7.
Well, I thought we were still looking at the pie here. So
okay, we'll go back. You go back to Mac and I'll put the pie up.
Okay, you're angling that thing. Yeah, you're trying to see how much.
I was really getting into the pie. Anyway,
trying to cut up the percentages. There?
So I'm gonna do.
I'm all blurry.
What are you doing, Jimmy?
What are you doing? You took the pie off.
The white balance. What are you doing?
What's wrong with you?
Put the pie back up for a second so I get my camera. I don't know what's going on.
What's wrong with you?
That's how I see after I eat a full pie like that, dude.
Amit, new blame pie with freaking Jimmy's camera on there.
All right, John, pick your freaking slice and let's go.
Okay, how do you look?
I look horrible.
Still no.
Hold on, I'll fix it. Just ready? I know how to do this. I have to back up.
The pie?
I have to back up. It sees me. It locks on. Jelso bought me this thing a few years back.
Oh, you know, blame Nick. He takes it personal.
I'm not blaming him. I think he sabotaged me with this.
I'm gonna vomit if I keep having to look at this. It's making me.
I think he's. Oh, I'm back. No, I'm not. I think he sabotaged me by giving me
this is quickly losing entertainment value.
Okay, my pie.
I'll figure it out. You just go.
My pie.
Feel like if you don't talk about it, it goes away. So
70% Tatum.
70.
I'm always players first. I will go 25% Joe, 4% Luke, 1% Zannis because I'm mad at myself for overreacting to the last game. I am.
All right.
I am.
So you went Tatum is your
yeah, because it's on the play. It's on the again. Everything filters top down. It's on the players. Your best player is sulking and pouting, and you go into that bad Tatum mode. Those games are hard to snap out of. You know, like it almost is. It's just such a struggle to watch. Do you want to leave and come back?
I know what I have to do. I have to block this light, I think, and then it'll only focus on.
Okay, why don't you do it?
If you're Joe, you got to recognize
your own.
Stuff.
Huh?
You got to recognize that stuff. If you're Joe, man, it's like you got to know your star's tendencies, and you got to say, okay, he's doing it again. You know what, guys? Time out. Maybe it's just about Tatum. We're just getting him you want a second? You want to just? I know. Things aren't going your way. Sorry, Jason. It's tough. You know, like I don't mean, you don't have to like baby him like that, but like in that, you know, let's call a timeout just to cool him down. Why not? He's your star player. But again, I don't think this is one of those games where it's like, Tatum, you have to save the day. But it did get messy. It got really messy. You know, you go 0 for 6, 0 for 7 from behind the arc. The lead is down to a one-possession game. It's a good time to call a timeout. You know, do you want to give that leverage over to Cleveland? Maybe it'll feel that way, but let's see what happens when you get out of that timeout.
Jimmy's like,
I'm back. It worked. It worked. I had to.
Yeah.
You know, it's about framing, John. You have to sometimes block out the noise. And just focus on yourself. Block out the noise and focus on yourself. And that's what I did. And now we're back.
Yeah.
What did I miss in that brief hiatus that I took?
Nothing. I gave most of it to people. People are wondering
the gap between Tatum and Joe Missoula on John's blame pie should be a lot.
I gave 70%. I give 70%. People are wondering where the Cornet is. It does feel like he's catching a stray here.
Did you hear his percentages, Jimmy? 70, 30, what was it? 30 on Joe? No, 20 on
25,
Joe?
4, and I gave myself 1%.
I gave Joe 50. And again, usually I'm with you, John, and then I always blame the players first, and I always give the players credit first too. It's not I only blame players. Tonight's a little bit different because I thought that Joe allowed, again, it's one of those situations where it's like falling back to last year. Use your timeouts. If you see a team going on a 20-0 run or whatever it is, just mix in a timeout. Just, I don't know, switch it up. See what happens. And then again, the final possession. That to me is lack of preparation, lack of information from the top down. You got to have Tatum needs. Yeah, I agree with you. Tatum needs to know, but he would get that from Missoula. And if that's drilled into their heads enough in that situation, it should be second nature. Down 1, 17 seconds left. Get the ball up the court. Get into your set. Get a shot off. Make sure there's enough time to get the rebound or foul so that you can get a second possession after the opposing team hits their free throws. That should just be like, that should be automatic. So the fact that it's not, and that Missoula waited, it never happened. And then he goes, oh, I tried to call a timeout at 4.6. Nope, blame pie. You're getting the blame pie tonight. A lot had to happen to get 50% of the blame pie, and it did happen.
Let me give you my counter to that, because you're right on all of it. I agree on all of it. But any game that gets to a point where a coach can be a determining factor or negatively impact it, got there because the players allowed it to get there.
Yes, sure.
There's no world in which we're concerned with a timeout that Joe Missoula uses or doesn't use if the players don't absolutely puke all over themselves here, not take the game seriously, pout, not execute, be sloppy.
But at
with
what
passes.
John, at what point
Missoula
does it then become the coach's job to
It is his job.
instill confidence, discipline, right the ship? Like at some point, the coach has to be the coach. So yeah, you can blame the players forever. Then just don't bring coaches out there. Just, all right, roll the ball out. Five best guys go out there.
But it's not. I'm saying is the coach. It's like it's the very last thing. Like it should have never gotten to that point. I agree that he should have done something because that is his job. But
what is this comment supposed to mean?
Yeah,
they're up 22 with 9 minutes left. And all he had to do was try to stop that.
It means I found one person that agreed with me, and I wanted to stick it in your face.
No, I agree, but that's what the score was with 9 minutes left. Okay, now do the score with 2 minutes left. Let's play this game. What was the score with 2 minutes left? Okay, and in that time, how many timeouts did Missoula take? How many adjustments did the Celtics make? Probably 0 and 0 and 0 and 0. We can just go down the line. So you can play that game where you want to talk about the score at 9 minutes left, but don't stop there. Let's continue on that same energy down the stretch. So that's where I give the blame tonight. And yes, the Celtics had way more talented players out there on the court. They should have been able to get some stops. They shouldn't have let, Dean Wade, go, dummy mode out there. And they did all those things. And I think if maybe, and it doesn't matter obviously anymore, but I think if maybe there was a little bit more assistance from the sidelines, which is what these guys are there to do. There's a whole staff of them, Cassell, down the line. Say something, do something, change something up. Get your guys to know what the hell they're. Josue, you already talked about it. They called the timeout, and what happened? Great play. They went to Porzingis out of the timeout. They scored. They're good out of timeouts this year. Missoula's actually good out of timeouts, isn't he?
He is, but that's another thing. Is again, this is where it's always going to be the when it works, brilliant. Trusting the players to go out there, and Joe's philosophy all year is that we have the things that we want to do, but I'm trusting them to make the right reads. So they just go out and they do what they do, and they're good at it. And that's why we are as good as we are. But sometimes you do have to, as a coach, shape a game or recognize that you might not be seeing what I'm seeing right now. And we probably have to start making sure that Porzingis gets a touch every trip down, because we're getting away from that. And that's something that I think is going to work for us. So just get it into his hands and let's kind of go from there, because they went away from it from a little bit. And then, as I said, it just got stuck. It got a little bit too Tatum ISO heavy.
Yep.
But exactly. And as soon as he gets it, boom, he makes that backdoor play to Holiday. The last time he touched it before that was scoring a bucket 4 or 5 possessions earlier. Possessions, not even looking at him. Yeah. I hate that. That's the kind of stuff I'm like, no. Time out.
There was a stretch where they were going to him a lot, game after game, and I'm not saying that's changed, but the commenter just said it. Good things happen when Porzingis touches the ball.
Yeah, but how many times does he barely get those touches when it's a 2 possession or 1 possession game?
There hasn't been a lot of them recently. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that has to be part of it, and it rarely is, especially when it gets down to the 2 minute mark. Let's get the ball at Tatum and let's just all defend. And sometimes, you got to keep the defense on their heels. Throw something in there that they're not going to expect,
Yeah, but when I say Tatum, I gave a lot of the Tatum blame to the players too. Just Tatum was the face of it. Like Porzingis was really slow to get to close out on any threes all
Wade?
game long. On Wade,
when Wade was making those threes,
he was laying back for no reason. And then Holiday at the end doesn't at all keep an eye on his man. It's three guys standing on the perimeter, and a guy who was at the 3-point line swoops in for a follow-up dunk. Inexcusable. Yeah. I mean, really inexcusable stuff. So just bad basketball. White was kicking himself too. Sloppy. Their outlets, their transition passes, lobs, everything was just gross tonight. Like it was just a poorly executed game, start to finish, and one that they just kind of. And it was as bad as they were playing. They still had a 20-something point lead, which was insane. So it happens. And for anyone saying things like, "Well, Wade got hot," stuff like that's never going to happen. Sure. But Cleveland missed a shit ton of early looks earlier. So, again, it goes both ways there. I thought they fell asleep on defense. They weren't putting effort in at all. I think they were just getting used to Cleveland missing because they were missing. I think the Celtics played horrible defense a lot of the game. I thought the broadcast had that wrong. Like, I didn't think the Celtics defense was doing much to deter Cleveland. They were getting looks. They just didn't hit them, and then they started hitting them, and the Celtics just didn't show up, and that was it. So, the whole team eats this one. And I think way, way, way ahead of Joe. But anyway, that's
they get my last 10%. There you go. The rest of the team.
And there it is.
What was that?
Now we're up to 172%.
somehow, yeah.
Porzingis, good loss for us. Healthy. We do have feeling we're going to win every game and we are invincible. Good to recalibrate. I agree. Totally agree.
Especially before Denver.
Also, pool report. Conclusive evidence. Conclusive evidence that Tatum created the marginal contact with. And yes, he did. That was not. It was clear. It was an easy overturn.
I don't have a problem with them overturning that. I think it's ironic that finally Tatum gets a call and it wasn't a foul because he was bitching and moaning about it. And he was getting they were playing physical on him. So they finally call a foul on him and it wasn't a foul. And, that ended up preventing them from at the very least, either trying to get a tip in or getting a quick foul on Cleveland.
Yeah, this is a good point. It's an old bad Celtics game. And that's why the visceral reaction of getting annoyed by it. I fully agree, and it always annoys Jimmy. I don't think it matters, and I think it's probably more good than bad. It's just annoying because I'm projecting. Like if Joe gets paralyzed and doesn't call timeouts while other teams are going on fourth quarter runs and the Celtics get into like paralysis, and can't slow it down, that's going to trigger a lot of us. If Tatum gets into, yes, playoffs can be physical and sometimes you're not getting the whistle, and that's it. And teams ramp it up and the physicality increases. And like, you can't be that way. You just can't. Right. You just gotta get past it. Right. Like, you gotta get past it. Like if it bothers you now, imagine how much it's going to bother you when the games really, really matter, like got to get past it. So it's projecting ahead. Like if you see that stuff, it's going to be annoying. If you see them forget that Jaylen Brown exists for quarters at a time, forget that every time they gave the ball to Porzingis, it ended up with something good. When you see, bad closeouts and just easy offense, just giving up easy offensive rebounds, that stuff tweaks you for sure. So that's it.
They better learn.
That's why we're doing what we're doing. Nobody here is freaking out. Right? You're not freaking out. Are you freaking out?
No. Wait for this finals preview.
Wait, Jimmy, you look handsome as hell, but we can't hear you anymore.
You are freaking out, man.
Yeah. I'm freaking out, man.
Is that how you said it?
What does that remind you of? Is that a line in your head from a movie? Because it is in mine.
Sounds like
no. My line was from Old School. It's like,
you're
freaking out, man.
Oh no, I was thinking of
with with the tranquilizer.
You ever see Super Troopers when the kid in the first scene when the kid eats the whole bag of weed in the back?
Yeah, and he's like, these snozzberries taste like snozzberries.
Yeah, he's like, he just looks at him. He's like, I'm freaking out, man.
Oh, and that's also, yeah. And then the cop's in the window. He goes, "You are freaking out, man."
Yeah, exactly.
You guys have seen this.
That's Christina Hendricks. That weird dude in that movie is Christina Hendricks' husband, Joan from Mad Men. Anyway,
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, I'm not freaking out. You're freaking out.
He eats the whole bag of mushrooms.
Did they make a sequel?
Yeah,
they did. They brought back. Yeah.
Yeah, the sequel wasn't that bad, but the first one was hard to beat, actually. What are you holding back there?
Yeah,
Soap, I think. Yeah, that's just a great movie. Oh, do we have Liter or Cola?
Huh?
You guys really know
we have Liter or Cola.
There's that many quotes. I just think of the
Super Troopers is an insanely quotable and funny movie.
Oh man, I missed out. I just remember the what is it? The guy spits in the guy's burger or something. He's working the fast food joint. I just remember like the clips and stuff. But I didn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of shenanigans in that movie.
Yeah,
a lot of shenanigans.
Yeah, does that look like spit to you, guys? Like,
yeah, that one, yeah.
Evil shit.
Yeah.
Welcome to Dippus Burger. Would you like to dippicize your burger or something like that? Anyway, guys, any other thoughts here? We can wrap it up because, like I said, we got it all out of our system. Does everybody feel okay?
I feel better. I
feel fine. I wasn't that mad. It was annoying as hell to watch.
Yeah, it's like it's like if you have kids and like they annoy you and just like walking out of the game, you're like, what the hell is that, man? Like. You're better than that. You're better than that. Like, come on. That's not who you are.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how you feel. We can be pissed for a few minutes and then go to bed, wake up the next day, and we get on with it. So people listening tomorrow.
This isn't you, Jimmy.
People listening tomorrow to this podcast or in the morning. Hopefully you leave the podcast in a better state of mind than when you turn it on.
And you can listen to the audio version of this podcast, and you absolutely should. Tuning in the morning.
Yes, you can catch it on all platforms. Mine is Spotify. I do everything on Spotify now. It's just easier. And give us a rating too on there. Give us a 5-star. Help us out.
Definitely. Rate and review.
Help us out. What do we got here? Jason Tatum. We played well enough for a good portion of the game. It was unfortunate. I thought I got fouled, but they didn't think I got fouled. It was tough because we would have got the tip in. Just a weird way to end the game. God, such a bad quote, man.
Also, both of those things are wrong. If you watch it again, he so obviously didn't get fouled in such an obvious way. It's said that he's not touched at all. But again, the ball bounces so high off the rim, and it was at 0.7 when it hit it. That doesn't get back into Porzingis' hands in time. I thought it would. I thought it did first.
But also, like, did the players hear the whistle and like maybe give up on the rebound? I have to go back and watch that again, I guess. But that's not why you lost, Jason Tatum. Like,
the whistle was kind of early, So I think you could tell a lot of the Nuggets players that maybe they didn't hear it, but yeah.
I didn't hear it on the broadcast, but I thought it was strange that Porzingis had a wide open tip in. So that's why. But anyways, so what's up with Denver?
What do you think?
Statement game, is that the last big game of the year, John? Since you've already pushed
the Suns right now.
I think so. We've got this. The blur pie.
That is the blur pie. There's only one slice to give for this fiasco that we went through.
We've also got a pool report.
Oh,
and here it is. If you wanted to see it, what did you see on the replay?
They doubled down on it.
Clear and conclusive evidence that the leg extension by Tatum created that marginal you can't be more definitive than to say clear and conclusive that the marginal contact, otherwise it wouldn't have been made. How did Tatum's contact on the play impact? Blah, blah, blah. The leg extension created the marginal contact. Garland did not make illegal contact at all. that's why it was overturned. This is not a controversy. It's not even remotely.
No, it's not. I have a quick question though.
President
And maybe Scal was wrong. I'm not sure the rule.
I think this is the refs like standing on their high horse, being like, "Look, we did it this time, right? We didn't mess this up. This is on us."
Yeah, they were
right. Like there's a lot of times where we're like, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
like what's his name from the Pistons head coach fucking lit him up. What was it last week? So they're really trying to be on the best behavior right now.
What was this? That's the one with the Jalen foul and then the everything where they got like 7 things right or wrong. Everything everyone thought was wrong was right, and everything. The Porzingis foul. Remember that game?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
5 questionable. Yeah. I'm drawing a blank, but it was like 5 questionable calls in the last minute.
Yeah. Well, now we have a reference. If they don't say clear and concise in these pool reports, we know that they're bullshitting us and that they effed up.
Right. If they come out immediately.
Yeah. The one other thing Scal said on this broadcast was that on a jump ball, the clock is not supposed to start until one team has possession.
Healed and Brown. That's what it was. It was the ND game. Yep. Anyway, go ahead, Jimmy. Sorry.
Are you done?
Yes, I am. Sorry.
All right. Damn it.
Talk about the ref that game.
Yeah, that game that nobody freaking cares about anymore. I don't know who's right here. Scal said that on a tip ball or on a jump ball, the clock isn't supposed to start until one of those two teams has possession of the ball. But in the game, the clock started as soon as one of the players touched the ball. So I'm not sure what the rule is there. I didn't really have time to dig into that a little bit.
So
I guess Scal may have been corrected. Is that true?
He was corrected. Scal.
According to Teresa. Well, then he was wrong, but he thought that was the case.
Well, Scal said it
when it happened. Scal said it, so it must be wrong.
I was probably in his feeling. That's what it was.
Scal said it's got to be wrong. Jalen on Cavs comeback. Everybody's gonna have everything. This is I love this one by Jalen. Everyone's gonna have their perspective on it. Like, for example, I thought I got fouled. That's a perspective.
Yep. It is a perspective.
Tatum's is, or Brown says mine is, that's what happens when you don't match the gas. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what we said too. You can't take it for granted.
Yep.
You disrespect the game. Exactly. Everybody's in the NBA for a reason, Josue. That's why Dean Wade did his thing tonight, because he's in the NBA for a reason. He's able to do that. You give Dean Wade an inch, he's gonna take a 30-footer.
He's closer to LeBron than we are to Scal. Is that, would you say that?
That's still debatable, but pick a different
is that the line?
Pick a different player than Scal. But yeah.
That's Scal's ultimate quote.
Dean Wade's a 1%er, man. He's a 1%er, so you gotta respect him.
Anybody annoyed about yeah, me too.
Just
the lack of Tillman.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, Luke was so convincing in that first
I get it because of the tall guys, but then when Mobley goes out, yeah.
Well, I took it as he was trying to show like, hey, I can be physical too. I can be that guy. I heard what you guys said on the guard report, So and he showed it. He did. He just kind of lost it there in that second half of that third stint or second stint. Yeah. But
who did?
Luke. I thought Luke Cornett looked. He was
more.
But
why not Tillman tonight? I mean, you telling me Tillman couldn't knock
that guy? He was doing his best
on his ass tonight.
He was doing his best Tillman impression out there. He was showing that physicality. He was dunking on people. He was blocking people at the rim. He wasn't afraid. It was one of those. Nick could put me on a poster. And he looked good. He did. I thought he could. I thought he was convincing enough to give Tillman that off.
He looked fine. He looked
fine. Before we take off.
He'll be back.
Before we take off, we're going to do a little Denver preview and look ahead. First, I do want to tell you, you want to get some of your Garden Report merch. Yup.
Oh, shit.
You can get it.
Wait a second.
I can't see it.
I can see it.
Oh, I can
Rep
see
the
it.
brand. Rep your favorite podcast with custom CLNS.
Shop.clnsmedia.com. It was buried under the ticker there.
Give me that t-shirt.
Wait, hold up.
In the business, Amit, we call it, we got to make these things ticker safe. shop.clnsmedia.com. Shop.clnsmedia.com.
Who are all these fools on this graphic? I don't see me. I don't see Josue. I don't see Bobby. I don't even see you.
It's not. It's the real stars.
What are you talking about? The real stars.
We know.
I see a Garden Report T-shirt, but where?
I know my place.
I get it. I get it.
So if you want people to buy this shit, you better switch it up.
Jimmy's fired up.
Switch it up, right, Josue?
Seriously, what the F is this?
Any one of these.
Hey, we got our faces on that T-shirt, Jimmy.
Can I get that damn T-shirt? Can I get a damn T-shirt or what, man?
I know.
Yeah.
Using my name and likeness, I can't even get one. Unbelievable. I gotta get Josue on the horn.
Jimmy's got like a country singer look going there. You know, like the little vibe going. If we can get a zoom in on that picture.
Where's that on the T-shirt?
On the graphic, yeah. I mean, we all look good, but I think Jimmy sort of stands out a bit. The way his hair kind of, it's good.
That's a helmet. That's a helmet. Are we looking at the same thing?
We're on the logo, Jimmy. That's all that matters. Okay.
We made it. Get your gear.
I can't see anything except it says, what are you guys looking at right now? I'm looking at the word merchandise.
All right.
Is that what you're looking at?
I'm done with Jimmy.
Is that what you're looking at?
It's on there. It's on there. Everybody saw it. Go check it out. Get your CLNS merch.
Days off, Jimmy. Ready to go.
I'm glad we got some merch. That's cool.
Yeah.
We do need another garden. We need another garden report. We need more garden report swag though, specifically.
Yeah, I want to see. More fans wearing that stuff.
What's the price of that T-shirt, John?
In the season, someone had a T-shirt in the crowd. We had a fan.
John, what do we charge you for that T-shirt?
Like $49.99. I'm just kidding. Just go to the store.
$49.99.
And if you follow Josue on Twitter,
it's hand stitched by Nick Gelso. It is.
And slide in his DMs. He will autograph any Garden Report T-shirt that you buy. You have to slide into his DMs.
Gotta do it.
He will autograph it. At the Celtics game, you bring it to the game. He will sign it for you.
All right, real quick. Looking ahead to Denver, I'm going to say right out of the gate, losing this game ensures that this is a win. That's how I feel. And
you're going all in again.
It could be a nail biter, though. I don't know, but I think it ensures they play the right way.
You've seen enough.
I splashed the pot. I'll bet it all.
I think the good stuff is going to show up for sure. I agree with that. Because of this loss, they're gonna.
But if the bad Celtics show up because something broke in them.
Feelings.
And the Celtics go on like losing 6 out of 10, we're going to panic a lot. But I feel good about this one because they haven't done it all year. They've had stretches of but they haven't cratered ever. And they haven't that whole Golden State last year thing where it set them off into a tailspin. That never happened at any point this year.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there's that scheduled loss against the Bucks. But then again, that loss was not even that loss was convincing enough to keep Adrian Griffin as their head coach. So I think that says enough there.
No, I'm not going to bet against the Celtics in this game. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a hard-fought competitive game. That's what I'm going to say. Celtics are not going to roll over and die like they did in that Bucks one. They are going to come out. I think this is going to light a fire in them a little bit. They certainly aren't going to take the Nuggets for granted. I pray that the Nuggets play all their stars because if they don't, then yes, the Celtics will lose that game because that seems to be what happens to them. But Jokic plays and Murray and all those guys play, then let's get it on. These are the two. This is the NBA Finals preview game, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
it's gonna be classic. This is it.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
That's
we'll
it.
be here.
That's all I got on it.
We're doing it. They'll cruise right to the playoffs.
Yeah. We'll be here for that game. Late start, 10 o'clock, doesn't matter. We're up and we're hanging with you guys. And it should be fun. Celtics drop a bad one tonight. It was bad, but we're going to be okay. And we're going to pull through. Yeah, we're going to pull through together. Denver currently down to the Suns. What if both teams, this is a good question,
Without
Yes,
Booker.
I think that means they tie. My daughter's basketball team tied a game this year. I didn't think that was possible.
They do that?
Yeah, they didn't play overtime.
That sucks. That's
we
what's
hit
wrong with our country.
Yeah, if I'm in that league, I'm
ties in basketball.
We hit a tying basket with 15 seconds left, and we're like, all right, overtime. And then they were like, shake hands, girls. And we were like, oh, okay.
Refs had somewhere to be. Maybe.
That was it.
It's messed up, man. That is messed up. Everybody got a medal that game.
The team finished 6-3-1 tied in second place.
There you go.
Wait a minute. So none of the parents complained though. There wasn't that one parent being like, "This
6-3-1." There's no playoffs at that age. You just
they have a March Madness tournament this weekend where they play everybody the round robin style, like short games. So they do something like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, should be fun. Should be fun. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. We are back on Thursday night, as we said, a late one, but we will be here for sure, or at least most of us will. Jimmy, most of us.
Most of us, some of us will be tucked away by then.
Damn, Grayson Allen has 22 right now. That says a lot, I guess.
Some people are 9-to-5ers, and we understand it. But again, thank you guys for hanging out, and we will see you guys on Thursday.
Wait, Amit's got an outro for us, I think.
No, he doesn't.
He said he was going to work on an outro.
He had a phenomenal game.
Phenomenal game.
Forfeit's out. I think it's an option. That did not sound like a chair.
It was a freaking chair. It does sound like a chair.